topic is about depoisoning yourself. So this is about releasing, detoxing, deconditioning, unbecoming to reveal and connect with your poised self. This is a signature theme. The way this topic is being laid out and the methodology that I'm using to cover it is unique from my method, okay? So this is something really, it's a signature theme and a signature methodology that I'm introducing to you here firsthand in the Still I Rise Club and in this community here as a mini course, okay, as a brief course, as an introductory course, okay. So I will start here the conversation by sharing my personal journey with you. So if you didn't have the chance to read my article, I'm gonna mention it. I'm gonna highlight it briefly here in this training session where I talk, and that's part of that's my main quest, my main personal quest, the reason why my theme is, the movement that I raise is about live with poise, right? And what I've been telling is, and I want to give you more details here, is about my experience from living poisoning myself. I know it's a strong wording, but I want it to be strong, from really start living with poise. And I think the first thing I want to say is that when we're not aligned with our life purpose, or we are taking decisions in our life that we know, we should be moving forward with any decisions in our lives, and we hesitate. We know it's the best thing, it's the right thing, but we don't do it. Not always we're conscious about that. And so this is the analysis that I do today, but at the moment, over the last years, I didn't have that level of clarity. So now I call my poison itself. This is part of my, I love the life. I love the life that I had before. I wasn't aware I was poisoning myself every day, that I was working against my own well-being, my own authenticity. I was not fully living my life plan. So I'm going to lay out a few examples of what was living, poisoning myself meant back then. So first one is, I was living as a high achiever and a hero full-time. So I wanted to basically prove myself. So every time that there was a challenge, I was invited to something challenging. There was a hot burning topic, especially in the career side. When I was working in corporate, I was the one, like, either like saying, I'll have it, let me have it. If nobody has done it, I will do it, because I wanted to prove to myself and to everybody how tough I was, how knowledgeable I was, and everything else. So I kept saying many times, like, yes to things and topics that I didn't really care much sometimes about, but it was so challenging. I knew that it was so I could grow from that. It was a leadership opportunity. That's how I was seeing things, as a leadership opportunity, as a development opportunity, and also skill set, growth opportunity, development opportunity. So I was taking them. So as I sometimes invite from CEO, from my president and everything else, and I was taking it. I was taking those invites, although they were not fully aligned with my vision, with my career path vision, and what I thought I wanted for me as a poised life. So I was always pausing many of the decisions that I wanted for life in terms of career, family. I was like pushing it. It's like, I need to take that experience. I need to go for it. I need to show, I need to make that happen. Because that's, I was identifying myself with that. So it was even a matter of identity, of telling myself and living myself as unstoppable, unshakable, like full of energy. I make it happen. Give me something tough, and even give me like hard people, people and situations in which it was challenging to lead with people, both for the thematic, for the themes, or for you know, for the personality of the people that were that were on that project. That was happening. And also I was like leaning in these kind of situations, and I was very proud about that. But the thing is that over time I realized that there is a price, a price we pay for, a penalty actually, that I was paying for going on for so much time in these mode. Because what I see today is that it served a purpose. So many things that I've done and many projects, so many roles I took, projects, companies, places I lived, it served a purpose. It was very helpful for me to develop. It was beneficial to have that experience. I'm a person that, although the feedback that I receive is that with my age, I had so many different experiences, and this is part of my journey. I feel my experiences sometimes are not just for me, it's also for the work that I do, because I want to share, I want to experience things and different things to learn from them, like incorporate them. But there were times that it's like enough should be enough, and I was never that much good on that, because I wanted to go until the end. And sometimes the end was when I was very stressed and very tired. So I even experienced at the end, when I decided to fully transition from my corporate world to and founding the institute, deciding to found the institute, because I was doing this, I was working as a therapist, as a private practice, so in my evenings, on the weekends. So I was doing that for over 6 years in parallel to my corporate job, which was a very high demanding job. I was traveling a lot and everything else. But it was, when I took the decision, it was the moment for many reasons, even like family reasons, because I was traveling a lot and I wanted to have more quality time with my family, with my husband, and everything else. I realized that even like my vitality, my hair, skin, I was graying my hair. There were many signs of fast and aging process. So this is not something healthy. I think it's signs that the body gives us, that it's like we should pause, we should have a sustainable rhythm. So it was not about all I was doing, was the reasons, the identity, my identity that was not fully aligned with my essence. I was not fully aligned with my poised purpose. So at some point I was like reading every day, like aligning and priming every day with my idea of a poised life, and ultimately, like, I was reading and it was like it has nothing to do with that. I need to take that step. So that's when I've done that. And yeah, so look, this is other aspects of my poisoning myself. So I was feeling I didn't belong in many of those places. Like I was always feeling it was temporary, it was a funny thing. And because I always had what I'm leaving now in mind, like in the back end of my mind, I was just waiting for when it's the right moment. When is the right moment? And okay, so, and then I was also feeling there was a problem for me. I felt like I needed fixing, so I was just doing more, always doing more, always putting more things on my plate, and be more, do more, be the best. So that was always my energy. And as I said, I felt great about it. I didn't realize there was a problem with that. And until there was a point in which I realized that it was not helpful and not healthy for me. And that's not really what I wanted, that the right timing to have the life and play full out on how I want to live my life should be when I decide to do so. Okay, so that was it. And what I started to do then, the process that I started is to focus on what I wanted, make what made me feel alive, what was fun for me. So not only what was challenging, but what was fun also. I like challenges, I like to learn, I like to develop things, to create things, but ultimately what is fun, you know, what kind of work, what kind of theme really energizes me as I do, you know, developing true self-love, connection, like to all parts of me. Because to say I like myself, and to, like, there are many ways that we can honor ourselves when we take self-care, when we listen to our body, when we have sustainable rhythms, routines, when we do what we love as much as possible. There is, like, you know, there is busy work, like there is a ratio that we should, things that we should do because it is what it is, but there are things that are really our choices. And because it's how we want to live our lives. And so that's part also of the honoring myself, and going for the path of true self-love, and really taking in the good and the bad things in me, embracing my shadows, right? That's one of the things that we talked in other discussions about the Poised self. And yeah, exactly. So this is how I should be. I'm already ready. I am enough. And that's one of the topics that we're going to talk over here, the training today. I just want to prime you a little bit on set the tone, and share my personal experience, why this topic is so important to me. Why do I raise this movement of living with Poise, and why it's so important for you to be acknowledging that too, because it happens unconsciously. At some point you're living, like, there are parts of your life that if you do not tune in, if you do not stop and question, have a different perspective, if you don't listen to your body, or to how you feel, to your soul, you're not really living your life fully. You're not living with Poise. You're living, you may think you're happy, but there will always be something missing. And that's the call to action here, to unpoison, for you, for me, because it's a journey that we all go through. But the idea is to go through consciously and without so many bumps. And the reason I'm telling you in all these details how it felt for me, even though on the outside I had a great, like, everything that I wished for in terms of having, like, both careers going well. Although there were some, like, limitations, like time limitations, right? I could just have a number of hours in my private practice, like taking clients, and at the same time, like, dedicating myself to the company. So there is, like, time and energy constraints, but ultimately I was very successful in my idea. I was, like, living a beautiful life. I was being recognized. I had great status. I didn't want to give up that status. You know, I had, like, a Fortune 50 company that I was working for, which also gave me great status. And so I felt like I've always been, like, the whole package, and I always wanted to keep promoting that until as long as I could. Okay, so for me to drop one thing was very different, as I said, was very difficult, as I said. So my invite to you is really to think about that. What are the areas, and this course is going to go through that, is what areas, what should you be leaving, what can you just not take out of your plate, because there's so much that you can handle, right, on a daily basis, and on a specific period of time. So yeah, so this is it, on like my main takes on my personal experience, and just to make you laugh a bit, and to see, just as a symbolic representation of how my journey was before. You know, the person that loves to carry a lot of luggage. On the topic that I said that like to leave anything out of the plate was something very challenging for me. Like leave things behind, let go, because I was only doing more, being more. I wanted to have lots of choices. That's something I always liked to do, to feel resourceful and everything else. This is how my journey was before. So when I moved from one of my moves from Brazil to Austria, they told me, the relocation agency in the company told me, like, we advise you maximum 2 hand luggages for this relocation. And ultimately, this is everything this is what I brought, like 6 huge luggages. There were always, there was also 7 actually, if you look in the back. This was the apartment that I was living in Austria. Plus, there were some boxes in the back and there, but the thing is that 2 is the recommendation. So I was always taking more because I never knew. You never know what you're gonna need, right? Everything is very unknown. So let me pack as much as I can. And most of the things that I brought, I didn't use it because the life there was so different than what I had in Sao Paulo, that I never used them. So it was just a burden ultimately. And the second one is, this was my pack just for the weekend. It was a weekend in Scotland though, so I didn't know how the weather would be like, if it was going to be rainy and everything else. And every time that I went to Scotland, it was for work. And the funny thing is that I was always catching it sunny. So you see, it's a funny way. It was sunny. And this is a sunny weather. You see the sun in the end. So I was always bringing stuff to work because I never knew how I would come up to do some work, plus my dressing stuff. And then the last picture here, just to say that, like, it's not always it's not always bad, and that condition and language. And anyway, we all have our, as I said, like, to embrace. It's important that we embrace all parts of ourselves. So I acknowledge that I have the challenge, and until now I work a lot on that topic. And then look at my wedding cake here on the right. There is a luggage there, and that's a story that I share with my husband, because that's actually one of the reasons my huge luggages was one of the reasons why I connected with my husband in one of our trips. So he was helping me with my excess luggage. So we laugh about it, and it became part of our story. And that's the thing. No matter what we lived before in our lives, whatever weird things that we have, it ultimately becomes part of who we are and makes us unique and makes us different. And it can even be funny and part of a good and funny story, like this one that I mentioned. Like, that's how I met my husband, right? For my excess luggage syndrome, right? So